How many of you guys have ever tried to manifest something and something crazy happened where it just didn't show up? Anyone ever happen? It could be in love, it could be in money, it could be in anything, right? And it's incredibly frustrating. And so when my intuition developed, I decided, because let's be honest, when your intuition develops, people want you to kind of be the circus act, right? They're like, tell me my future, tell me what's gonna happen. And what would happen is I'd look into somebody's soul and I'd be like, oh my God, they're gonna keep creating the same exact thing over and over and over and over again. How do I help them fix that? So I realized, I went on the radio one day and I was on the radio and this lady calls me up and she says, I want to know if my husband cheated on me, okay? And I'm like, oh my gosh. Because the real truth is I knew the answer, right? And so I said, and this is the moment that it just really changed for me, because I said, you know what? Let me just ask this question. Your dad cheated on your mom, right? And you had previous boyfriends that cheated on you, correct? Yes. I go, let's just fix that pattern. You know what I mean? So that you don't have to keep creating that same thing over and over and over and over again. What I do is I take my energy, I go into somebody's energy field, and when I say go into it, I see it, I hear it, I see pictures of what happened, I hear ages of what happened, and I go in there, and I can say oh, your mom and dad had a money issue, and you duplicated that, and that's why you're 40 years old and you're having that same problem. And crazy things happen because this energy actually has kind of a mass to it. And here's what I mean by that. One of the participants who did the Unlimited Abundance was Deborah. And Deborah sent me her email and she said, Christie, I want to show you this email. And she had her medical reports in it, okay? And she goes, you don't know what this means, but here's what this means. Before I released my abundance blocks, I was living in a very negative home. I didn't have anything positive in my life. I had hurt myself. I'm walking with a cane, and the medical report is saying that I could have lost a kidney, okay? And now the new medical report that I'm sending you means I'm not going to lose a kidney, because here's what happened over those 3 months. I started eliminating my abundance blocks. I no longer walk with a cane. I hike every day. I moved out of my negative environment. I found a man. She said, a good one. And basically, my doctor can't believe it because I'm not going to lose a kidney now. And you would think, how could working on abundance blocks literally affect her physically? Well, because in working with so many people, what I realized is a lot of your physical aches and pains are actually your patterns that have this mass with all the pictures of reality and all your thoughts and your feelings and your ideas about how life works. So I'm going to kind of show you how you create a reality. So imagine you're, a little baby, mom pops you out. And what happens is your brain waves are generally in theta. So you as a human are starting to download and duplicate the reality around you, okay? And as you grow up, you just keep imprinting within you thoughts, feelings, beliefs, ideas, things that happened, and basically you become you, and you're filled with all these thoughts, feelings, and decisions. Now, that in and of itself is okay. An interesting thing happened. When I was working on clients and they'd come to me and they'd have abundance blocks and they'd be 30, 40, 50 years old and they have these abundance blocks, when I traced them back, most of the first imprinting occurred 0 to 7. So that's why they've been doing all these meditation techniques or all these self-improvement things, and they say, Christie, it's not working. I keep clearing the same stuff. How come it's not actually changing my life? And the secret and the clue that I learned by working on so many people is 0 to 7 is usually where the first imprint is. And if you don't pull out that layer, things don't shift as easily. I'm not saying they don't or they couldn't or they kind of get better, but then you go along the road and it gets a little better and then wham, something else happens, right? And that's because you didn't get the first core imprinting. You do a vision board and you think, hey, I'm gonna go manifest this amazing goal. I'm gonna go make $1 million. And then within a couple of weeks, some kaboom, like something happens in your world or your reality where the washing machine breaks, the car breaks, you lose your job. Has anyone ever had that happen? You're like, what in the heck just happened? I just set this big, amazing goal, and oh my God, now my world's falling apart. Well, what happens is you have a conflictual reality. I call it cross purposes. You have two competing purposes fighting you, okay? So one part of you is saying, I want to have money in abundance, and I want to have more than enough, and the universe completely and totally supports me and has my back, right? And then this other part of you is going, are you crazy? That stuff doesn't work. You're not abundant. How many of you guys have those dual thoughts that pop in whenever you do your affirmations? Well, those are your patterns, okay? And those are an amazing love gift, because here's what's happening. As soon as that negative stuff comes up, you can use the techniques that I'm going to show you, and you could say, oh my God, I'm finding a cross purpose. I'm finding something in my universe that's a conflictual reality, and now I have the opportunity to change it because it just showed up in my world, okay? So how many of you guys, when that stuff happens, the normal instinct, of course, is like, are you kidding me? This stuff is happening again, right? Wouldn't it be cool to look at it from the point of view of, oh my gosh, it's another pattern that I get to uncover, that I get to change, that I get to zap away?